Hey there, folks. Tonight we're diving into the often overlooked world of pensions, specifically in the beautiful but financially challenged nation of Albania. Now, I know what you're thinking. Pensions? John, you promised us jokes about bears on unicycles, not this snooze fest. But trust me, this is important. Albania, like many countries, is staring down the barrel of a demographic time bomb. People are living longer, birth rates are dropping, and the workforce is shrinking. This, my friends, is a recipe for a pension system meltdown. See, pensions work on a simple principle. Current workers pay in, retirees cash out, but when you have fewer workers supporting more retirees, the math just doesn't add up. It's like trying to build a human pyramid where the bottom row is made of toddlers and the top row is all sumo wrestlers. Spoiler alert, it's going to collapse and someone's going to get a diaper full of elbow. This isn't just an Albanian problem, it's a global one, but Albania, with its history of economic instability and emigration, is particularly vulnerable. So tonight we're going to break down why Albania's pension system is on shaky ground, what the government can do to fix it, and why you should care, even if you don't own a single pair of those cool Albanian pointy-toed shoes. Remember that ticking time bomb? Let's talk about why it's ticking so loudly in Albania. After the fall of communism in 1991, Albania, like many former Soviet bloc countries, saw a baby bust. People were uncertain about the future, and starting a family seemed too risky. Fast forward to today, and those babies who weren't born are now the missing workers who should be paying into the pension system. But wait, there's more. While birth rates plummeted, life expectancy in Albania has actually increased, which is great news for individuals, but terrible news for a pension system already on life support. It's like throwing a surprise party for your great aunt on her 100th birthday, but then realizing you forgot to order a cake big enough to feed all her friends who are also somehow turning 100. This demographic double whammy is putting immense pressure on Albania's government. They're stuck between a rock and a hard place, trying to provide for their aging population while also trying to avoid a fiscal crisis that could cripple the country's future. It's a tough situation, and frankly, I wouldn't want to be the one explaining it to a bunch of angry pensioners. Those domino-playing Albanian grandfathers do not mess around. All right, let's get down to brass tacks. Albania's current pension system is, to put it politely, a bit of a mess. It's what's known as a pay-as-you-go system, where current workers' contributions directly fund current retirees. Think of it like a giant financial conveyor belt with money hopping on and off. The problem is, that conveyor belt is starting to look more like a Rube Goldberg machine designed by a bunch of ferrets on caffeine. One major issue is the low retirement age. Men can retire as early as 65 and women even earlier. Now, I'm all for a long and happy retirement, but when you're living longer and the workforce is shrinking, those early retirement parties start to look more like financial black holes. Another problem is the informal economy. A large chunk of the Albanian workforce operates in the shadows, meaning they don't pay taxes or contribute to the pension system. It's like trying to fill a swimming pool with a leaky bucket. No matter how hard you try, it's never going to be enough. And let's not forget about the generous pension benefits promised by the government. While well-intentioned, these promises are becoming increasingly unrealistic to keep. It's like promising your kids a trip to Disneyland, but then realizing you accidentally spent the vacation fund on commemorative spoons and a lifetime supply of mayonnaise. Oops! Now, Albania isn't the only country grappling with a pension crisis. It's a global phenomenon, and some nations have learned the hard way what happens when you ignore the warning signs. Take Greece, for example. They had a notoriously generous pension system, with some workers retiring in their 50s on full benefits. It was like winning the lottery, except the lottery was rigged and the prize was economic collapse. When the Greek economy tanked in 2010, their pension system imploded. Retirees saw their benefits slashed and the country was plunged into social and political turmoil. It was a stark reminder that even the most well-intentioned social safety nets can unravel without a solid financial foundation, but it's not all doom and gloom. Some countries have successfully implemented reforms to avoid the pension abyss. Sweden, for example, has a system where pension benefits are directly linked to how much you contribute and how well the economy is doing. It's like a retirement savings plan where your returns are tied to the stock market. Except instead of investing in companies, you're investing in the future of Sweden. And who doesn't love Sweden? They gave us IKEA, ABBA, and those delicious little meatballs.